everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at my second alternate election history episode. So basically in today's video, this is our second alternate election history video. The event we're changing today is what if Robert F. Kennedy was not assassinated and was chosen as the Democratic nominee for the 1968 election. So in this scenario, everything stays the same to real history except for Robert Kennedy being nominated as the presidential nominee by the Democrats, and instead having Hubert Humphrey, the real nominee, being nominated as the vice presidential candidate. So obviously, we're still gonna have George Wallace, as he was very anti-Kennedy, so he would still have the third party vote in the South, but just like real life. And Richard Nixon, he would be running with Nelson Rockefeller, and yeah. And also in this scenario, Kennedy was assassinated. John F. Kennedy was assassinated. So the current president during this scenario is going to be Lyndon B. Johnson. Okay. So, and let's first look at the 1968 real map. We'll go from West Coast to East Coast. We're going to have Washington, which was lean. I feel like Kennedy would do better here. Actually, no, I think he'll do the same in Washington. In Oregon, I do feel like it would go from likely to lean because Kennedy does do a bit better than Humphrey. Only a bit, but I feel like it could go lean. California, I think it would flip because Kennedy was a bit more popular than Humphrey in California, and Nixon only won it by 3.1 points. Let's move on to Nevada. I think it would, just like Oregon, be lean because it was won by a pretty big margin, 8.2. But Alaska, I would think it would stay lean. Now let's go to Utah. I'd say Utah would stay safe. Idaho, Wyoming, all of these are going to stay safe. I think North Dakota could go likely. Montana, likely. South Dakota, I think Dakota would go lean. Colorado, I also believe it could go lean. Republican. New Mexico would stay likely. Arizona, staying safe. Hawaii, I do feel like is going to stay safe, Democrat. Now let's move through the plains into Nebraska. Safe. Kansas, Oklahoma, all of these are going to stay safe. Okay, now let's move on to Texas. In Texas, Humphrey only won it by 1.3 points, but I do think Kennedy would do better in the South, so I'm going to have it stay lean. Now we have to go into the Midwest. Kennedy, I feel like he would win Minnesota by a safe margin, win Michigan by a likely margin, and I do believe that he could flip Wisconsin and win it by tilt. Okay, let's go through the rest of the Midwest. Iowa. So Iowa was won by Nixon by 12.2 points. I think it would go to stay red, but by a lean margin. Missouri, I think Kennedy could flip it because Nixon, he only won it by 1.1 points. And Kennedy is more popular than Humphrey in the Midwest. Illinois, I feel like he could also flip by a tilt margin. Actually, I'm going to change Missouri to lean. Okay, now let's go to Indiana. It was won by a likely. And 12.3 points, that's actually pretty good. I think it stays likely. Kentucky was won by 6.1 points. I would say it would go lean. Ohio only won by 2.3 points. I think it would go to Kennedy by tilt margin. Arkansas. Let's move into the South. This is Wallace territory. I don't think Kennedy would do much here. So I'd say Arkansas would be lean. Go from likely to lean. Louisiana, I'd say it would go likely. Missouri, Alabama, safe. Georgia would be likely. Uh, Tennessee, I feel like it would go lean Wallace. South Carolina, I feel like it would go. Wait, sorry, I meant lean, not tilt. Uh, South Carolina, I feel like it would go tilt Wallace. Uh, let's go to North Carolina. I feel like Kennedy would take some Nixon voters in North Carolina, but I'm gonna have it North Carolina stay lean instead of likely. Virginia, I think it would go uh, to Nixon by a tilt margin. Kennedy would do better than Humphrey in Virginia. I mean, Kennedy basically does better than Humphrey in every area. West Virginia, Kennedy, it would be likely. Same with Maryland, likely. Pennsylvania, likely. And I have Delaware lean. Uh, New York, I have it likely as well. New Jersey, I have it likely. Uh, Sorry, I have New Jersey lean, guys. Oh, Florida. I think it would go to Nixon by a lean margin because in real life it was won by Nixon by a pretty decent 9.6 points. Rhode Island, safe. Massachusetts, obviously safe. Connecticut, I have it safe as well. Vermont, I have it lean Nixon. New Hampshire, I also have it lean Nixon. And Maine, I have it lean, likely Kennedy. So I have Kennedy winning here against Nixon, 327 to 147 to 64. Robert F. Kennedy wins this alternate scenario. This is my second alternate history episode. If you have other alternate history episode ideas, please comment in the description. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Alternate election history episode 2. What if Robert F. Kennedy was nominated as a Democratic nominee? And yeah, that's it for today's video. Bye.